They gave him a ticket for stacking rocks.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I kick him down before I go.
This gentleman's out here all the time bringing positive energy. You're not a police officer, you're harbor police. Are you like a sworn community service officer? You probably have not sworn an oath to uphold the constitutional rights of the citizens, correct? You're just an unsworn officer.
Unsworn, yes.
Yeah, unsworn. It's interesting, that's what they tend to do, is use unsworn officers to enforce these kind of like tentative ordinances, because it's a lot easier for them to have less culpability when they haven't had sworn officers out. If I were to stand here and juggle these two pieces of paper and talk to people about First Amendment rights and, you know, maybe dance, would I be in violation of the ordinance as well?
Under the Port Ordinance, yes.
Alrighty, welcome back to my channel. This is News Now Ninja. Today's video comes to you from San Diego, in the channel called The Time Is Now, where a man peacefully exercising his rights of freedom of expression at a public park is confronted by officers with a new law that prohibits any freedom of expression in certain areas of the public. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments section. Remember, we all have the right to redress. Get to the link in the description to see the entirety of this video, and let's get straight to it.
So we're down here on the San Diego waterfront today, and hopefully it's a good and positive, interesting kind of day, but it could get to be a weird kind of interesting day because they've decided to pull some of this bull down here now and just check out what they think is the way they think is appropriate to designate our public space here. This is where they say expressive activity can happen, and this is quote-unquote commercial activity. Now, when we just came out here before we saw this sign that they had even done this, and talked to a neighbor out here who's gotten hassled with this new law. Oh, I guess these two are expressive activity as well. Well, wow. He said he received a citation the other day.
Mind, judging by this map, it appears this man is standing right here, which is an expressive activity area, whatever that is. Let's keep moving.
Yep, yeah. You're criminalizing me for doing this, bro.
Yeah, they gave him a ticket. They gave him a ticket for stacking rocks.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I kick him down before I go.
This gentleman's out here all the time bringing positive energy. I've seen him before working his love out here, and he does nothing but positivity. And he's got a ticket a couple weeks ago, I guess, right?
Yep.
They just said for stacking stones
with their property.
Their property. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They just started this. They started enforcing this new thing. When was it?
I think it was May 1st. Yeah.
Humanity. Yeah.
All right, guys. So, real quick, there's a new Port Ordinance that controls this expressive activity.
Interesting.
So for right now, you guys are not in an expressive stop.
Is this public space?
It is a public space.
Oh.
It is a public space. Oh.
But
Okay, just checking.
I can actually show you the Port Ordinance and the district map where these sort of activities are permitted. So you can come in here and just set up anywhere.
Even though it's a public space.
Correct.
What brought you over here? I'm curious.
It was a call generated to come out here.
A call generated by who? Your supervisor or something? Is that people are like on? I've just noticed people are kind of looking around at what's going on out here.
So, guys, really quick, I don't want to give you a citation. I just want to make it quick and easy. You guys need to move into a space, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to write a cite.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to do that either. What brought you over here? You said a call. So, like a call about what? Like, what did they say was
An ordinance
happening?
violation.
Or just an ordinance violation? Meaning that what was part were we violating?
An expressive activity not in a allotted expressive stop.
Interesting. Hardly ever heard anything like that before in my life. You, Josh? Now, I know you're out here as the messenger, my friend, so...
I can actually show you the Port Ordinance.
I'll take a look at it. I know you're out here as like the messenger. The reason we picked him down here is because there's other people down there. We're going to be courteous, and so...
have a paid permit to be there.
Well, ultimately, Hector, in this country, we do have the right to express ourselves in public spaces, and that is what we're doing, is expressing ourselves. And I know that's not a debate I'm going to have with you, but you need to understand on a human level that sometimes these ordinances are really a violation of our rights. I know you've been charged with coming out to enforce them or to at least give information, but unfortunately, it's possible for ordinances to get pushed through that later get found to be unconstitutional, but in the meantime are still run around. And we have experienced this kind of thing in other cities, and now they're no longer enforcing that in Santa Cruz, the last place we dealt with this.
So this is going to be like the section that explicitly speaks about.
That's cool. Well, I'll check that. Are you calling us a commercial link or expressive activity? It's interesting you lumped those together. Not you, of course.
No,
Can I hang on to this?
It's my copy. But you know what? Yeah,
Mind if I hang on to it?
you can hang on to it.
We're doing a special report, so it'd be nice to have some extra information. It's good to know what's going on out here, because ultimately I just want to, again, as a human, because you've delivered information now.
The first fine for that is $250. The second fine is $500. Third fine is $1,000. Guys, it's just a really quick. It's an ordinance violation.
Yeah.
Newport ordinance. Whether it's fair. It's not for me to say.
No, I know it's not for you. That's why I'm just trying to communicate. No, I know. But it is, you know, it is a larger human conversation, because this is the whole conversation gets up. It's like people are saying, well, they're just doing their job and stuff. And like the cops, and you're not a police officer, you're a harbor police. Are you like a sworn community service officer? So you probably have not sworn an oath to uphold the constitutional rights of the citizens, correct? You're just an unsworn officer.
Unsworn, yes.
Yeah, unsworn. It's interesting, that's what they tend to do, is use unsworn officers to enforce these kind of like tentative ordinances, because it's a lot easier for them to have less culpability when they haven't had sworn officers out.
Well, I want to deal with
That's my side point.
I want to deal with you myself. I have my sworn officers right there waiting on standby.
Yeah, I see.
Just
Oh,
in
let's
case.
get a shot of them over there hanging out.
Just
They
in
come
case,
over for the
guys.
conversation. Yeah.
It's because they're not experts in this. It's just
No, I
I'm the
know.
one
I know
enforcing.
that's really unfortunate that our law enforcement isn't more well versed in our constitutional rights, and that when ordinances like this happen, that they're not actually going to city council going, what are you guys doing passing this law violating the citizens' rights? We've sworn enough oath to uphold those rights, and now you've made an ordinance where you've taken the public space, and this is what I want to just extend to you on a human level. Look at this. This is all public space out here, correct?
Again, like I said.
But
it's
is
not-
it? I'm asking you a question. Is this public space out here? This whole grassy area that we're on?
Yeah.
It is, right? So when you look at this and you see what they've done here and eliminated this entire area, and by the way, this is only commercial, so you're saying commercial things can happen, but expressive activity can happen in a public space. Well, that's a whole separate interesting kind of an issue that they've cooked up, and I'm not putting that on you. I know you didn't write this ordinance, but when you see this entire area and you've said you cannot express yourself here
You
as
can.
a citizen, okay, go ahead, you can.
You can.
But-
The only thing we control is the time, place, and manner of when it is expressed.
Right. Well, that's a very professional answer, and I know that that's how they try to justify this, but I would be interested to see how they justify that for health and public safety, which is why the restrictions need to be in place. They have said that this entire area is unsafe for people to express themselves in. That's ridiculous to me, and I'm not trying to convince you. I'm extending, Hector, we're there on a human level out here, dude, and I appreciate your time, because I want to talk beyond your badge, because your badge is just this, and we're not going to get in here with this. We would have to go to court and deal with that, or sue the city, or both, and all those things are on the table. But like what they have done here is nuts, and for you to just, you don't have to answer, but I want you, Hector, to just hear what I'm saying. And like, I'm not an unreasonable person. I'm not saying we should be allowed to just set up in the middle of the freeway, or it's all just, but when they take this much public area and say this entire area, not only can you not express yourself, you can do things, but only if it's commercial in our public space. That is really troubling to me, that that's what they have done. Oh, we got some sworn police officers maybe coming through here. So have we are sworn. You guys sworn police officers? I'm sorry? Are you sworn police officer?
Yes.
You've sworn an oath to uphold the constitutional rights of the citizens of this country.
Right.
Right. Well, that's what we're talking about, because it's just, you know, concerning to me that like the city, and I know it's not you guys.
Understood.
So very much on a human level here. I know you guys.
Got it.
But like, it's wild that all of this space, they have said that that's all it can be, and that the commercial can be, but expressive activity can't. As people who have sworn oaths to uphold constitutional protections in the country, that you're telling people, like, we came down here to be courteous to the other people, because the only zone is like over there next to them. It's like we're trying to be courteous. I haven't heard, were we a problem other than that we weren't in the space?
It's not for me to say.
Well, you said you was called in as an ordinance. What part were we violating? Were we violating any part other than the location?
Expressive activity, not in a allotted space, not within a 10 by 10 space.
Okay. So just ordinance. So in other words, no person has complained. We haven't harmed
As I
anyone.
have not heard any, this characterized as a noise violation at this point.
Yeah.
So if you're in the space, if there is a space available,
Yeah, but it's right over by those people. Do you see why this? And I know this isn't, but like, I'm just so you guys understand what we're now having to deal with, and for some feedback, because I don't know if one of you goes to city council meetings and chimes in sometimes, but this is a problem, because taking all of this space and telling people, like musicians, especially, you have multiple musicians, they can't set up within 10 feet of each other. That's like a logistical reason I'm giving here specifically. So I'm not just like willy-nilly, but I'm not just trying to bitch.
The board appoint commissioners. This, like I said, this is a trial system. This is
a trial system.
iron out those things.
Well,
but at this point,
right. But
they
I'm
are
letting you
regulated-
guys know this is why
Right.
this is a bad system. It doesn't
Right.
work.
And
It does not
we give your
work.
feedback to the board, right?
Well, give it to the port, and I'll give it to you because you're here now,
Right.
you know, loaded up with all your accessories. So, like, you know, you guys are.
We didn't get to weigh in on this.
You
either,
guys are the. I know you
Yeah.
don't. It's
Yeah.
important to mention that because people a lot of times they do. You know, they see us
Yeah.
getting you know, they call it hassled
command, I'm
by
sure,
you
has.
guys, and they go, oh,
Yeah.
those cops are fucking with you, and
Yeah.
really, you guys get sent down
Right.
by a supervisor that calls in a complaint, and then I've been through all this before.
Right,
is the
but I'm
thing,
sure our command had something to say about it too.
well, apparently we were just outside
Right.
the space. So
Right,
it's like,
that's it.
if there was human beings that
Yeah.
had like a legitimate grievance, or we were actually a problem, hurting people, habeas corpus, all that kind of fun shit, that would be easier for me to like work with if we were,
Yours too?
yeah,
Okay.
community campus for everyone.
All right.
But
So,
like,
so the officer here, what do you need to do? Let's get this
well,
going.
he told us to go over there, but the
Okay.
other thing is, like, if we go over there, it's gonna be very rude. It's gonna blow up
Okay.
on other people doing.
You
So
choose-
that
you can
so
choose to do it or not. You
It doesn't
can't be
allow us to really be out here. So
Right,
if we,
right.
yeah. So
That's it.
you guys are charged with enforcing that. How does that go
Yeah.
down? Like, for instance, if we decided to like just protest this ordinance at this point and stay here as a protest,
Then he'd be issuing a citation.
a citation.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, and we have to go to court and deal with it. You know.
Yeah, again, yeah. Like I said, none of us want to be here dealing with this.
I
but-
know, it's too bad. Well, that's why I
Right.
appreciate you just
Okay.
honestly taking time for a second to get some of
Yeah.
the feedback, because that, do you, like, and I don't need you to, like, confirm it. I'm not trying to, like, rope you into agreeing with me, but, like, honestly, I don't think I'm being unreasonable to point out that's because this is supposed to be,
And that's what the feedback
this is supposed to be,
about.
according to them, for public health and safety. That's the reason that you can restrict people's First Amendment rights. I am aware of time, place, and manner restrictions. I have been to court before, so I kind of get this to a degree. I would be interested to see how they quantified that it was necessary for public health and safety to have this limited amount out of all of this green space, these green zones, and that this can only be commercial in our public space.
Again,
Excuse me?
All for them to take.
I know,
on,
but it's also
our
for
time-
you guys, because you're here
Not
like,
at this point. At this
enforcing
point,
this.
we have other stuff to do, so I just need to know what we're doing.
I don't know. Well, we're still figuring it out. We're just talking it through, and
Either
we're
gonna get
just
cited
we're
or
being
not. You're gonna break it down and go over there, or go home,
well,
or get cited.
we're just, I mean, I'm talking it out.
Okay.
I don't know. This might become a protest at this point.
Okay.
We need to decide what we're doing, you know. I'm just, you know, trying to extend to you guys so that you
So-
understand where we're coming from. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Because
so now it's his decision. What are we doing here?
I'm gonna put the ball in your court. Do you guys want to move? And then we'll be gone. If you guys want to protest, I'll give you the side and we'll be gone as well. What do you guys want to do?
Here we are again.
I don't know. If I were to stand here and juggle these two pieces of paper and talk to people about First Amendment rights and, you know, maybe dance, would I be in violation of the ordinance as well?
Under the Port Ordinance, yes.
Maybe we should break down, and that's what we should get our citation on. Do you see kind of that you would tell people that? Because what is are these people not expressing themselves? And I know this is now not court, but do you see how absurd this is?
Are you going to get a side or you're going to clean up?
No, I know,
All
we're
right?
probably
You-
going to.
You don't have to sit here and talk to us and preach.
Well, all right, but I mean, does it,
It's
like,
fine.
no one's being hurt. We're going to probably break it
Okay.
down. It's going to take a minute. Like,
Okay, we'll take a
you
minute
know.
and do it.
All right, well, I am. But,
Okay,
like,
thank
isn't
you.
that ridiculous that if I
Yeah,
juggle these and talk? Well, thank you for even agreeing with me. I appreciate that.
All right.
You know, cheers, guys, and stay safe out there, because I know you do have actual dangerous shit to, like, help us with. So thank you for your service.
All right, we'll take care.
Alright everybody, keep in mind that I spoke with Sgt McLean at 619-686-6570, and he specifically mentioned to me that the light blue t-shirts are not sworn officers, and the only thing that they're supposed to enforce is parking regulations. So for what reason was this gentleman out there trying to enforce city ordinance with the authority of the police behind him? Let me know what you think about this video in the comments section. Remember that we all have the right to redress, and if you choose to do so, please do so peacefully and with respect, and I'll see you on the next one.